They made an announcement that somebody in the church, their house had burned down that week. They took up a special love offering for that person. Cool. There weren't that many people there. There may have been 20 people there. It was a little church. Cool. And I gave some money to it because my house didn't burn down. So the next day I asked, so how much did y'all collect for the family whose house burned down? Now I gave $100. Okay, I wasn't rich millionaire Myron Golden. I was a visiting preacher. Okay. I gave $100. I said, how much money did y'all collect for the family whose house burned down? $137. Cash flow impacts your faith choices now. You know what's sad to me? People talk about living below your means. Most faith-based people give below their means. I was at a church once as a visitor. I was a visiting speaker. They made an announcement that somebody in the church, their house had burned down that week. They took up a special love offering for that person. Cool. There weren't that many people there. There may have been 20 people there. It was a little church. Cool. So and I gave some money to it because my house didn't burn down. So the next day I asked, so how much did y'all collect for the family whose house burned down? Now I gave $100. Okay, I wasn't rich millionaire Myron Golden. I was a visiting preacher. Okay, I gave $100. I said, how much money did y'all collect for the family whose house burned down? $137. Cash flow impacts your faith choices now. The causes that you care about, you'll be able to give to. And cash flow, like if you increase your cash flow now, it increases your future choices. Why? Because if you increase your cash flow, now you've got more money to put into your cash accumulation. Let's say you're making enough money to live from your job and you get an extra $5,000 a month in passive cash flow coming in through one of the ways I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Then now you have the ability to do what we were talking about earlier. You have the ability to save $1,000 a month. And so in 83 years, then you can have $1 million. Maybe you can get that cash flow up to $10,000 a month and save $10,000 a month. Then you can be a liquid millionaire in 8 years. So I'm not saying that it's not important to accumulate cash. I'm saying it's more important. It's more of it ought to be more of a priority to increase cash flow than it is to increase cash accumulation. Does that make sense? Okay. So cash flow can broaden your choices now. And then lastly, cash flow can bring changes now, changes to your living standard. Now, I don't know what your living standard is, but I can remember when my living standard was just a stand. It wasn't a standard. It was just a standard, right? I remember when my life was like that. I remember a time in my life when I had to decide whether to pay the electric bill this month or the gas bill, or the water bill, or the car payment or the car insurance. And I know there's nobody watching me right now, but guess what? If you increase your cash flow, it improves your standard of living now. What do I care if I'm going to be able to retire one day and I can't live today? I can't feed my children today. I can't put gas in my car today. Okay. I'm not just saying that cash accumulation is not important. I'm just saying cash flow is a much better priority on both fronts for the purpose of accumulating cash and the purpose of cash flowing cash. Cash flow is a better priority. Okay, cool. It improves your life's living standards. It improves your life situations. Man, I think about all the times I had raggedy old hoopties that broke down at the most inconvenient times. I remember one time, me and my brother Derek who's visiting from Holland right now. Dude's a genius. Anyway, so me and Derek, we're on our way. I'm on my way to go see my girlfriend. She's my wife now, but she was my girlfriend. It's in the middle of winter in Gary, Indiana. Okay? Gary, Chicago, all that, same thing. It's 142 below zero, or something ridiculous. Something where literally, the only place I've ever lived where I saw squirrels frozen to death standing up. I'm not exaggerating. It's just craziness. Like it's just, what is happening? Like the gas would freeze in your car while you're driving. The gas line would freeze. It's just insanity. You have to put You had to put antifreeze in your gas, like gas antifreeze in your gas tank. It was just crazy. And so I'm driving this Volkswagen Beetle, and they don't have great heat anyway. And it was one that I kind of, finagled together. And we're driving, and our car breaks down on I-65 between Crown Point and Gary in a blizzard. And it is something below something cold and something way more than that below something wind chill. I mean, 20, 30, 40 below wind chill. It wasn't uncommon to have a wind chill of 80 below. It was just craziness. And we're out there. I literally knew that was my last day on earth because nobody was stopping. Finally, a kid that I went to college with, his sister recognized us and pulled over and gave us a ride, or we would have died, right? I don't even remember the last time I had a car breakdown. Why? Cash flow. Oh, you know what's really cool? Cash flow pays for my cars. Cash flow pays for this building. Cash flow pays for my houses. Cash flow pays for my life. Cash flow pays off my credit cards every month, down to zero balance. My American Express has a couple $100,000 on it right now. It's getting paid today. Why? Not because of cash accumulation. I don't use my cash accumulation to pay that stuff. I use my cash flow. I'm not talking theory, y'all. I'm talking to y'all about what I do every day. Okay. So I know it works. And I'm not saying I do it every day to flex. I'm saying I do it every day. I know it works. This is not something I read about in a book last week, and now I'm creating a YouTube video on it. This is how I live my life. And it changes your life solutions. Whew, man, I am so thankful. I am so thankful that my life solutions are not solutions that I have to create anymore. So, something that's in my garage where my tankless water heaters are, in my water lines and all that stuff. Something in there's leaking. The solution used to be, go get your toolbox and a flashlight and figure out what's leaking and why. That ain't the solution. You know how I'll solve it now? This thing right here? Yeah, y'all need to come out here and look at this. Yep, okay, come on, right? It improves your solutions. Why? Because paying other people who specialize in solving your problems saves you more time, and it's worth it even if it costs you more money. Now, what are some things that you can do to increase your cash flow? You have to start some kind of part-time entrepreneurial endeavor, some kind. I don't know how to create a product. Great. Then become an affiliate. What is an affiliate? On the internet, there are people who sell stuff. I know, because I is one of them. There are people who sell stuff. And when they sell stuff, if you promoted it for them, they'll give you half the money. What? So you can become an affiliate for other people's products. Did you know that? So, like, if you want to become one of my affiliates, you can go to mmocAffiliates.com. It doesn't cost anything. I don't charge you to become an affiliate. mmocAffiliates.com. And then you fill out the form, and then it'll take you to the affiliate area where you can get affiliate links for Trashman to Cashman. And every time you promote Trashman to Cashman and somebody buys it from me for $20, even though you didn't write the book, I'm going to pay you $10. Every time you sell Boss Moves for $30, even though you didn't write the book, I'm going to pay you half of that. I'm going to pay you $15. Every time you sell a Make More Offers Challenge ticket for $100, I'm going to pay you half of that money. Or $97, I'm going to pay you $48.50. You sell a VIP ticket for $297, I'm going to pay you half of that money. I have a guy who lives in India. He's my top affiliate. He makes $100,000 a year just promoting my offers. Now, if I'm paying him half, and I'm paying him $100,000 a year, how much money is he making me? An extra $100,000 a year that I wouldn't have made. It's all found money. Why am I willing to pay you half of the money for work I've done? Because you found somebody to buy it. And it's all found money. Like, I'm an affiliate. I looked at my bank account the other day, and I saw a couple $1,000s come in. I'm like, where'd that come from? Oh, that was from an affiliate offer. I did a joint venture, which is another thing you can do. You can do a joint venture. So affiliate offer is one way that you can make money off of other people's stuff. And by the way, I have a program called Golden Ops, Golden OPS. Ops stands for other people's stuff, right? And that's my program that I sell, and I think it's $1,000 or $2,000. And if you sell that, I'll pay you half the commission on that. What? Yeah, I created the program. I do all the work. All you have to do is tell somebody about it, and I pay you half the money. Like, anybody could be an affiliate. Like, I make thousands of dollars a month sometimes in an affiliate. I make tens of thousands of dollars a month doing joint ventures. What's a joint venture? It's when somebody else has an offer, and then I promote their offer to my audience. Well, then they pay me some commission. Or they have an audience, and they let me promote my offer to their audience. Like, let's say I go on a podcast, and I say, hey, if you want me to promote my challenge, you can become an affiliate, and then we can buy a domain name, and we can forward, like, if I was to come on to, let's say, Omar El-Takroi's podcast, say, okay, Omar, here's what we're going to do. We'll create OmarOfferChallenge.com. And then we'll forward that to your domain name. And on this interview, which tens of thousands of people will watch, maybe hundreds of thousands of people will watch, we'll just send them to OmarOffers.com. And when they buy a ticket, you get half the money for everybody who buys. I got one guy whose podcast I was on. His first affiliate commissions just from me being on his podcast was $14,000 for the first month it was on there. I paid this man over $100,000 over the years just from being on his podcast, because that's how much money he's made me. Are y'all tracking? Then you have joint ventures, like other joint ventures, like I do repitches for people. So people do their offers, and they'll make their offer to their audience. And then they'll close the cart. When they close the cart, then I can come in and they'll have me speak to their audience, and I'll speak to their audience for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then I turn it back over to them. They make the offer again. All the sales that come in when they make that offer again, I get 50% of that. My last repitch I did last month, I was here for 45 minutes on a Tuesday night, and I made $57,000. You could literally, if you know how to speak and you know how to sell from stage especially, you could literally do repitches and pre-pitches for people. Okay, so that's another income stream, right? Okay, let's say you don't like that. You could start a school community and charge people $5 a month for your school community. Now, I knew somebody who had a Facebook group that charged $5 a month. They were doing $500,000 a month in this Facebook group. You could do the same thing with a Facebook group. You could do the same thing with a school community. Just start something where you're uploading content once a week or uploading content once a month. Start a school community, and bada bing, bada boom, you're getting paid like left, right, and center. You could start a membership site. You could start a paid newsletter. There are so many different ways. You could sell something that's a premium offer and have people pay it off over time. And then you get payments every month, or you get payments every week, however you set it up. These are all things you can do to create revenue. You could develop a software, or you could develop an AI agent. And then, you could develop an AI agent and then lease that AI agent to other people, and they pay you per month for using your AI agent, because AI agents are going to make software as a service like obsolete. It's already happening. It's going to happen even more. You talk about being at the right place at the right time. We live in an era when there's nothing you can, even if you don't know how to do something, it doesn't matter. So can I tell you something I did this morning? So remember I told you about the client that paid me $80,000 for me to teach them how to grow their YouTube channel? They took all the stuff I taught them. She brought her business partner with her, and so her business partner created a spreadsheet. He sent me the spreadsheet that used all the stuff that I told him how to do. He sent it to me, but it was locked. And I didn't want his content. I just wanted the spreadsheet. I liked the way it looked. I'm like, so this morning I said, typed in ChatGPT, if I upload a spreadsheet, can you duplicate the spreadsheet so that I have the spreadsheet, but I don't want any of the data? It made the spreadsheet for me, because I don't know how to do it. Well, I can't say I don't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. I know how to do it now. I just tell ChatGPT to do it for me. And I upload it, and it literally duplicated the spreadsheet. Every column, every row, duplicated, no data, so now I can put my data in. Who can do that? Anybody can do that. Okay. Is there anybody here who knows almost nothing about AI? Almost nothing? So all of you know. Okay. So did you know that in the next 30 days, you could become enough of an AI expert to start teaching other people for a specific thing. Let's say you're a plumber. You want to start teaching plumbers how to use AI for X, Y, and Z. You're a landscaper. Whatever business you could start. Maybe you know how to do video. You know something about video. You could start using video. You're a musician. You could start teaching other musicians how to use AI. There's so many different ways you can use it. Now, and I'm going to be talking a lot about this in 2026. But if you don't know how to use AI to do those things, you can get AI to teach you how to do those things. So you can do those things and become an AI consultant. Anybody listening to me right now, if you decide right now, I'm going to become an AI consultant in 2026, you could have your first decent paying client before the end of January. That's not an exaggeration. It's not even a slight exaggeration. Like, it literally teaches you how to use the tool that is the most leveraged tool that's ever existed in human history, can teach you how to use it and how to leverage it for maximum profit in minimal time. So, I'm going to end with this. Cash flow is better than cash accumulation. Did you know that money and blood have a lot in common? Did you know that? Yeah, money and blood have a lot in common. In fact, I'm going to do it on my board. So, money and blood have a lot in common. So, you already knew this even if you didn't know it. You kind of knew it. Okay, so money and blood have something in common. What do they have in common? Well, let's do this. Let's do money, blood. Okay, money and blood have a lot in common. What do they have in common? Well, most people store their money in a bank, in a money bank. But we store blood in a what? Blood bank. What? Oh yeah, money and blood, watch this, are both fungible. Money and blood are both fungible? Yep, what does that mean? That means if it needs to be the same amount and the same type, but it doesn't need to be the same exact. What do I mean? Let's say, out of control Cole, my man, can I borrow your car? What kind of car do you have? Nissan what? Okay, so I'm going to borrow your Nissan Sentra, okay? Are you good if I bring you back a Volkswagen Beetle? No. Are you good if I bring you back a different Nissan Sentra? No. You want your car back. Why? Cars are not fungible. What does that mean? If you loan it to somebody, when they bring it back, it has to be the same exact. But if it's fungible, it doesn't have to be the same exact. You remember NFTs? Everybody's talking about NFTs. NFT stands for non-fungible token. What does that mean? That means this token is the only one and only. It's non-fungible. You can't exchange it for a different token, right? Non-fungible. But money is fungible and blood is fungible, which means it has to be the same type and it has to be the same amount. So, if I borrow from you $100, do you have to have the same exact? You give me a crisp $100 bill. Are you okay if I give you two 50s? It's fine. What about 5 20s? 10 10s? 25s? He doesn't care. Why? Because it's the same type. Now, what if I said, okay, I'm going to give you two 50s, but they're going to be $50 Canadian. Do you want that? No. Why? Because it's not the same type. See, you have to have the same blood type. Type O positive, whatever, type A, type B, right? It has to be the same type of blood. You can't, it has to be something that's equitable, that's equal value. I think one of them, I think O positive can be exchanged for other ones, but I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor and I don't play one on television, so I don't know, but it needs to be the same type or the same type equivalent, right? And the same amount. But guess what? That's not all. Money and blood are both fungible, but they are also they have to remain in circulation. What does that mean? Well, there's an organ in the body that pumps blood throughout the body. What's it called? The heart. Well, there's an organization, there's a group of people in the economy that has to keep the money in circulation. Who are they called? Entrepreneurs and salespeople. We are the heartbeat of the economy. The only reason anyone ever has any money to do anything they desire to do for the people they love or the cause they care about is because somebody, somewhere, sold something to someone for a profit. Now, here's the part you never thought about before. if a whole bunch of blood gets stuck and accumulates in one of your blood vessels, what's that called? Clot. Blood clot. And what can it do? If it comes up to your heart, it can kill you. But we're taught, like, it's not a good idea for blood to clot. Guess what? It's not a good idea for money to clot either. Because a lot of people, their financial devastation has been created because they've been programmed by the cultural hypnotic societal mechanism to intentionally build up a big old blood clot for someday, instead of increasing big old money clot for someday versus a big old pile of cash flow for today. I'm going to say it again. If you prioritize cash accumulation over cash flow, there's a very good chance you'll never have either. But if you prioritize cash flow over cash accumulation, there's a very good chance you can have both. Thanks for watching. I hope this video blesses you in ways going into 2026 that you didn't know you could be blessed. In the meantime, in between time, stay blessed by the best. We'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.